Welcome to Sports Gamers Online Field in Baltimore, Maryland for tonight's Monday night spectacular between the Indianapolis Ramblers and the Baltimore Vultures, along with Justin Reside and Ron Haynes in our stats truck. Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine, and we are ready to go here tonight in our first Monday night spectacular of the season. Charles, how you doing? This game is a doozy, a battle of two teams that won in overtime last week.
Yeah, it's definitely a doozy, Cam, and both of these teams had battles last week. They both won on the last play of the game. They left it all on the field, came away with the W, and Indianapolis is coming into the Lions' den, if you will. Baltimore has got the number one winning percentage at home, and they're looking to continue it. So it's going to have to be a perfect game from Indianapolis, but I think they're stacked from a talent standpoint to do it.
Indianapolis in their winner's circle uniforms tonight. Baltimore in the red striped pants with the red jerseys. And these two teams have a lot of star power, not a lot of history. Just the second meeting between these two, the first in Baltimore. Indianapolis gave up a lot of points in their first meeting. Hopefully not tonight. Kick it, we're underway. Could have been an offside call there on Indianapolis' kicker team, but it won't matter. David Anderson with the kneel down in the end zone at the 20. Jack Wigmore, who threw 21 touchdown passes last season, second in the SFL, back at it. He was hurt last week in the second half. The team won it without him, trying to make a bigger impact here in tonight's game. All right, Jack Wigmore will start with a pass. That one is knocked away, looking for Caesar Ackerman over the middle, and instead it was deflected by Kenneth Gaston Jr., who did a great job in coverage.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about Jack Wigmore. Didn't have the best of game going into his injury as well, but they do have a very strong running game, love to run up the middle, so let's see if they lean back on that tonight a little bit.
Second down and 10 for Baltimore. Wigmore out of the eye. Will look to pass. It's picked off. Threw it right to Jack Russell. And Indianapolis will get the ball at the Baltimore 19-yard line. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was right out of the quarterback's vision, just coming in there at the last second to pick off that ball. I mean, it was a pretty safe route there, but well covered by Russell.
Last week, Jack Wigmore with no touchdowns and a pick, 15 for 26. That's not the start he wanted. Pickler, misdirection, hands it off to Charlie Baker, the new starting back in Indianapolis. He picks up 3.
And last week, watching Pickler's game, he looked like he'd been in that offense for years. I mean, he was comfortable. Normally a new quarterback coming into a new scheme takes maybe a game or two to get adjusted, but man, he jumped right in there, had some key drives, and one of them won the game.
Second down and 7 for Pickler. He's sacked. A loss of 6 on the play as Baltimore brought the house. Alvin Mack with the takedown. It'll be 3rd and long.
I'm really going to keep my eyes on this. The offensive line of Indianapolis, they're stacked. They're big, they're heavy, they're tall. And the defensive line for Baltimore, not so much. I mean, they're very talented, but they're not the biggest and the heaviest in the league.
So 3rd down and 13. Baltimore's defense trying to make a stand. Johnny Pickler going back into the pocket. All kinds of time. Back in the end zone. It's out of bounds. Just beyond the hands of Xavier Knight. Couldn't haul it in. That was a close call, and Indianapolis is actually going to challenge.
Yeah, I thought half of his foot was out of bounds. I mean, the Indianapolis fans aren't wild about that opinion, but the offensive line gave Pickler plenty of time on that play. Just seemed like it took forever for the route to develop.
Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your console and play on the go at GoRetroid.com. Here's a great look at it. No, maybe one, Charles, but And it stands. Indianapolis going to lose a timeout. All things considered, Charles, I don't think that's a horrible waste of a timeout. You're in the first half. There's 6 points potentially on the board, and Coach Rowland gave it his best shot.
Well, whoever was talking in in the coach's ear needs to have a talking to, because that was horrible vision up there in the booth.
So a 39-yard field goal attempt for Indianapolis to get on the board. And that field goal here in the comfy confines of Baltimore from Topher Kiefer is good. He was 2 for 3 last week, missed that potential game-winning field goal at the end of regulation, but squares that one away. Indianapolis probably a little bit disappointed, but kind of feels like a free 3 points after Russell's interception.
Yeah, I mean, they walked away with points. That's, when going up against Baltimore, every time you get a turnover, you need to put points on the board and make them pay for it.
The kick is away. David Anderson will bring this one out. Check that. That is David Holder bringing that one out to the 28-yard line. And that's where Baltimore will try to shake off the rust and set up for their first true possession of the game.
We talked about on the first possession, Baltimore having that ability to run up the middle and going to it a lot. What I saw from the Ramblers last week is they showed a lot of aggression on defense. They're not afraid to send multiple 2-3 blitzers in to pressure the quarterback. Let's see if they stick to that game plan tonight.
1st and 10 on the 28. Wigmore will drop the throw to start the possession. And Jack scrambling away. Suron Yates nearly had a sack on his former teammate. That's incomplete. Russell in coverage will bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they didn't bring the heat on that one. They only had 3 down linemen. Looked like they were running a 3-4, but those 3 down linemen were able to get around the tackles and put pressure on Wigmore that impacted the outcome of that play.
Second down and 10. We're working on my microphone here just a little bit, so bear with us on that. Keep us updated on how we're sounding as Wigmore's pass is incomplete. We'll set up a 3rd down and 10, and Wigmore's off to a sluggish start.
Yeah, and that defense of Indianapolis, it caught my eye last week. They're aggressive. They're not afraid to blitz. They're also not afraid to line up man-to-man like we're seeing right here.
3rd down and 10 now. 8:38 to go in the first. Wigmore is 0 for 4 to start the contest. Wigmore to pass. All kinds of time. That pass is caught. Matt Chima to the 48-yard line for a Baltimore 1st down. They have not run on their opening first 2 possession shows, but finally able to connect there.
Yeah, and Wigmore put it right between the covering linebacker and the defensive back, but hats off to the Baltimore offensive line there for giving Wigmore enough time to find the open wide receiver.
8:15 to go as Baltimore now back on the move as Wigmore fires down the field. That pass is caught by Chima for another Baltimore 1st down.
Yeah, it feels, Cam, that Jack Wigmore's starting to get his feet a little bit rooted more in the ground and getting a little balanced out there and seeing the open wide receivers.
$7:50 left in the first quarter. Wigmore fires again. This one is deflected. Jermaine Menefield comes up with that deflection.
Yeah, it started off with Kenneth Gaston just blew through that offensive line and right in the face of the quarterback.
Second down and 10. Wigmore will fire. That pass incomplete again. Looking for Ackerman. Wigmore is 2 for 8. Anthony Wyo in coverage.
Yet they showed their aggression again on that play. They sent blitzers in and back in man coverage. You don't have to, touch the quarterback. You just need to make them, a little nervous there. And I think the sound of the the thundering hooves made him a little nervous.
3rd down and 10 for the Vultures. The 9th pass attempt likely upcoming for Wigmore. Wigmore drops to throw that pass. Caught by Ivory Irvin, who spins away, gets to the 14-yard line for a Baltimore 1st down.
That's not the type of catch, Cam, that you're supposed to make. I mean,
No.
That looked like that was going to be a pass deflection, maybe even an interception. Let's see here on the replay.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was a battle right there, and showed his physicality on that reception.
So with 7:15 to go, Baltimore, who threw an interception on their first possession, throws another one here. Picked off and taken back the other way, past the 30, the 40. Rick Evans down the sideline. Indianapolis has a pick six, and they take a 9-0 lead on the Vultures. What a start for Indianapolis.
Yeah, they disrupted it at the beginning of the play. It looks like they got some penetration on past the offensive line, and it went south from there. And looked like Evans was just sitting there waiting for the ball to hit him in his hands.
Evans all the way. And, I mean, there was nobody even close to him. Arnold there at the very end of the play, the lineman, but nobody in the picture, and Wigmore's got to be stunned to the start of his season. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the first 4.5 quarters, and the Baltimore Vultures put on notice here. 4.5-point favorites in this one, rightfully so, I would say, but Kiefer's extra point is good, and this is a surprising start for the Ramblers here on the road.
Yeah, Cam, I said it looked like Wigmore was starting to settle in there, and just like that, it looked like the Ramblers turned up the dial on their defense and started dictating the terms on the field, and just really threw him off and threw the whole offense off.
This kick a bit shorter now as Daley Holder takes it back to the 29-yard line. And that's where the Vultures will set up for their 3rd possession. 2 possessions that ended interceptions. Not a lot of running to speak of here in this first half. In fact, 0 carries. Perplexing so far here for Baltimore coming out. Wigmore drops to throw, fires down a wide open Caesar Ackerman. Oh, we're going to have fun tonight. Ackerman down to the 18-yard line of Indianapolis. Or Benji Matson, rather, excuse me.
I mean, that's how you answer, Cam. You know, you get smacked in the mouth, and what do? You rely on your reliable tight end, Benji Matson. Kind of quiet last week, had a couple receptions, a good, 16.5-yard average, but the more you get him involved, the more success you're going to have.
That's my bad. Confusing for me as a league historian. Ackerman wore the same number, I believe, last season, and now Matson taking over at tight end for Ackerman, who went to Minnesota. This is a handoff to Warren Murray, who picks up 5 yards. And Murray, with 3 rushing touchdowns last week, was their red zone bell cow. At it again right now.
Yeah, Baltimore's got to put something on the board here. I mean, even if it's 3, they have to respond.
Handoff, G.P. Wells inside the 10, down to the 6, had 100 yards, 100-plus yards last week, gets his first carry and moves the chains.
I said a couple times tonight, Baltimore is deadly up the middle. They lean on that a lot. So I'm curious to see how much they run those 3-down line sets against that formation. It could wind up burning them.
First down and goal from the 7. Wigmore into the end zone. Touchdown, Benzie Matson.
Touchdown, Chiefs.
Baltimore strikes back.
Yeah, you got to get that man the ball. Matson's a beast tight end. He always catches it when it's needed. And great route runner, strong as heck, always finds an opening in the defense.
Nice little curl right in the middle of the end zone, and Baltimore answers back extremely quickly. Wigmore now 4 of 11 for 118 yards and has the touchdown to Benji Matson on his second grab of the evening. The extra point from Shark Tarkington, the new Hall of Famer of 2024. That kick is good. 4-play, 71-yard drive. That's how you respond.
Yeah, they needed to respond too. I mean, that touchdown was huge. Now we're going to put the our sights on the Indianapolis offense and see what they've got dialed up.
How will Indianapolis play offense with a full field? That is the question of this drive, as they'll start with the ball on the 20-yard line. Pickler, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception in their win last week against Minnesota. Kind of a surprising win, Charles. They had to come back. They were down double digits at one point. Pickler able to work his magic. He'll hand it off to the fullback, and getting hung up behind the line was Rob Noel. A 3-yard loss blown up in the backfield by Robert Brady.
As I stated at the top of the call, what was so impressive about Pickler is that he had a key drive late in the fourth quarter, took him all the way down the field, missed the field goal, had another shot in overtime, and made him pay for it. I mean, he's acting like he's been in, like I said, he's acting like he's been in this offense for years.
A pass intended for Xavier Knight, incomplete. He almost hauled that in, but was unable to get there. John Patrick Levine, another incomer to this Baltimore secondary, was in coverage. Indianapolis still looking for their first move of the chains of tonight on offense. They went 3 and out after that interception, and now in danger of going 3 and out here again against this tenacious Baltimore defense. Johnny Pickler rolling around looking for someone to get open, eventually just has to check it down, and that's going to be a quick 3 and out. Reggio De Niro with that last catch. He had 3 catches and a touchdown last week, but Indy will have to punt.
And Baltimore, it looks like they're starting to get their engines fired up here. And let's see what the defense of the Ramblers can dial up again. I'm a little concerned if they keep, like I said, showing that 3-4 look, if they're running it up the middle. But I would keep putting the pressure on and see if they can disrupt Wigmore.
Irvin returns it to the 43-yard line. Dangerous returner, won the game last week against Canton with a 90-yard punt return down the sideline. Good field position for the Vultures rather at the 43. Johnny Pickler starts 1 for 3 for 3 yards, and the ground game has no yards to speak of. Jack Russell already with 5 total tackles and an interception as Matson goes in motion. Indianapolis stacking that box, anticipating the run, trying to shut down this 2-headed monster in the backfield, and you can throw T-Roy Gaines in there as well, but this is Benji Matson again with another catch. Matson has 3 catches now here in the opening quarter.
That Scarborough had the tough task of covering Matson. There's not many linebackers in this league that can go toe-to-toe in coverage against him, and he just ran a masterful route and was open, and had nice rapport between Wigmore and Matson. It looks like they've been playing together for years as well.
4 minutes to go in the first, 10-7. Baltimore down 3, an exciting first quarter here at Sports Gamers Online. And there's Matson again with the catch, a pickup of 6.
You can't let a man like that go off the line unmolested. You have to bump him, get him off his route, do something, or he's going to kill you. And he's been eating it up in the middle so far tonight.
Second down and 4. 3:26 to go in the first. Matson goes in motion. He is everywhere so far tonight. 4 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. Warren Murray breaks a tackle. Murray gets the first down. Tough in the trenches. Vulture's drive continues.
He had a solid game last week with 3 rushing touchdowns. Just shows his ability, his strength. But once he gets hit, he doesn't give up. He keeps churning those legs and gets those extra yards.
Ray Colston, $5 super chat. Hit that like button. Let's go Indy as Ray's hoping for an upset tonight, and please do hit that like button. Thanks, Rochelle, for everybody's reminder. Wigmore is decked. Oh, it's caught off the helmet. Was that Manson again? He is everywhere. That was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. There wasn't anyone around him before the tip as well. I wish we could see a instant replay on that one. That was phenomenal.
That's the best 6-yard play we'll see all season.
That's amazing.
Man, what a first quarter we've been treated to between these two 1-0 teams here in week number 2. The handoff back to Murray, and Adam Wiseman crunches him. Check that. That was Gaston Jr. with the tackle. 3rd and 2 upcoming.
Just like that, they're in red zone territory.
Wigmore already up to 154 passing yards in the first quarter, on pace for 616 tonight. Handoff to G.P. Wells all the way down to the 14-yard line, first down.
Hope we get a replay here. Jay Arnold, guard, just set that edge perfectly, turning in there, giving him the extra. Well, Gaines did a good downfield block, but I think it started with Arnold, number 67, on the edge.
No, I agree with you. That was a great block from Arnold. That T-Roy Gaines block was unexpected, I think, to us and the defender as well. Totally destroyed. Baltimore, a very physical football team. As the handoff goes to Murray, and he is met at the line. That's another great tackle by Gaston Jr. for Indianapolis.
Whew. This is Benji Matson territory. Showed it on the last possession. Let's see if they make use of him in the middle.
Chima goes in motion. Matson just 2 catches for 33 yards last week. Wigmore to throw. End zone. Touchdown, Matson! You called it, Charles. Unbelievable game for Benji here at Sports Gamers Online, and Baltimore has taken the lead.
I mean, and he's not built like your typical tight end either. I mean, 6'2", 66, but man, it doesn't look like that on the field, but he makes you pay. He can use his athleticism to bounce off you to catch the ball, and he's also a great route runner. So it was a smart move keeping him involved in this offense and using him in the middle of the field.
Matson last season finished the season with back-to-back 100-plus yard performances. He has 101 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. The last time that Matson scored 2 touchdowns or more in a game was February 4th. Did it against Atlanta, but in his 4K23 career has never had more than 2. It was Warren Murray last week, Charles, and maybe Benji Matson tonight.
Yeah, just keep feeding him until they figure out a way to stop him, Cam.
Wow, what a start. It's 14-10, but when you look at the statistics, the offensive statistics, the game just looks totally silly. We'll pull them up after this next play. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Pickler drops to throw. Pickler looking, firing, deep down the field. There's a flag, and that is going to be PI on Baltimore down the field, so Indianapolis will get to move the chains for the first time offensively, this time due to penalty, Giovanni Bolt.
So I was looking at the last game, Pickler's game, and the one thing that stood out to me is he is very accurate. Most quarterbacks would say very, better accuracy on the right side, middle, medium, long, whatever. He's pretty consistent across the board in all categories. He's able, 50% or more pretty much on any spot on the field.
And look at those numbers, Charles. That doesn't look like a 14-10 game. 196 to -3. Johnny Pickler with the play fake, tried to get away, and Frank Smith, who was featured by Haynes Vision in pregame, brings him down for a loss of 2.
It also helps, Cam, when your defense can take one back to the house. That's what's keeping the score close.
Smith with the tackle for loss, his third of the season. Smith gets his 17th career sack. Play fake from Johnny Pickler, nearly sacked, got away from a couple, and then slammed down by Smith again. After a 4-yard gain, will make it 3rd and 8.
He's deadly running, but I always get a little nervous when coming from the team where my quarterback ran half of the carries, but last week. But I'm nervous when the quarterback runs. Better see him passing than handing off the ball.
That's the end of the first quarter. Indianapolis 10, Baltimore 14. We'll be back to Sports Gamers Online Stadium after this. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags Droneworks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Charles, the beautiful sunset in the harbor. Could it be the site of the 2025 SFL convention? Who knows? Hope to have that announced in the coming weeks. Try to help you make your plans as early as possible. 3rd down and 8. Pickler's pass is caught by Ryan Roosevelt, who had over 100 last week at Indy's win. The Rambler drive stays alive, 1st down.
Yeah, they needed that. They needed something to start building on, and that, you just go down an arrow route, and you got to catch it with the big boys. You're going to get hit, but he was able to hold on to it.
First down for Indianapolis. Pickler 2 for 4, 22 yards. De Niro and Roosevelt each with a catch. Handoff on a draw. Charlie Baker gets 7. Indianapolis was pretty excited about this Charlie Baker pickup. Charles, former Fort Worth wide receiver, then was a backup running back in Fort Worth, now the starter here in Indy.
Yeah, and he adds some depth to that line, and that's the key here, I think, in this new age in the SFL. You need to have depth not only at halfback, but fullback as well.
2nd down and 3, another draw, and did they get it? Nope, just short. That's Tino Sosa with the carry, his first of the night.
Yeah, it's a good position, 3rd and inches here. Don't do anything crazy. Put the pressure on your running backs and make them earn their pay.
Back-to-back runs, 4 different players have carried the ball here for Indy. Another draw and another 1st down. Charlie Baker, a lot of running room. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry here in the first half, and Indy moves the chains once more.
Yeah, saw a lot of draws last week with Indianapolis, and they went going to the well again. Let's see if Baltimore maybe can see some tendencies here and make some adjustments.
De Niro goes in motion. Fourth straight handoff. That's Sosa. He'll get a yard. He's brought down by Baltimore's John Patrick Levine. Second and 9. Pickler, pressure on the outside, picked up, but that pass was behind Ryan Roosevelt, and it actually was behind Giovanni Bolt as well. He was the closest to the football. 3rd down.
Anytime you get the ball near Giovanni Bolt like that, there's nobody around, winds up possibly going to the house. So they dodged the bullet on that one, Cam.
Big 3rd down here as Indy's offense tries to get in the end zone for the first time tonight. Trips off the left side. Baltimore will rush just 3. Pickler down the middle. Ryan Roosevelt incomplete. Could not haul it in, and Baltimore's defense will come up with a half stop as Top Kiefer will come back out to try to put more points on the board for Indy.
Well, they showed something there on that drive, Cam, but they just stalled as they got close to that red zone area. So they need to figure out a way to sustain some drives.
3 out of 4 so far this season. Kiefer's kick is money right down the middle. 4 for 5, 10-play, 59-yard drive. Took 3:17 off the clock, and at least, Charles, it gave Indianapolis's defense a break. Baltimore's offense already on the field 22 plays here in the first half.
Yeah, the key, like you said, the key is walking away with, you only got a field goal and you're within one. So, I mean, this is still a battle.
Jace Orther in the chat saying he's new to this league, looking for more Bossier City fans. There's a flag. That might be on Baltimore, their second penalty of the night. Their first was 27 yards per Ron Haynes in our stats truck, along with Justin Reside. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine here with you. Clipping penalty for Baltimore. That is going to push them back to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, I think going up, running up the middle like we talked about, I think that's their money play so far. And they've been successful passing the Matson as well, but I think it starts with being able to show some danger running the ball.
7:35 left in the first half. Wigmore will drop the throw, fires wide open. Benji Matson. This is some kind of showing, and you can tell, Charles, specifically Baltimore this week saw their advantage with number 40.
Again, they've got he's being covered by a linebacker. Scarborough again gets the nod on that one. I'm sure he's not looking forward to it when the play's called and he knows he's got to guard Matson.
A couple of receivers in week 1 went over 200 yards. Deezer Powell and Vin Callia. But no one's had that type of performance in week 2. Benji well on his way. They're looking for him again. This time it's incomplete. Blanketed by Rick Evans and others. And Ivor Irvin saying, it's okay, bud. You're going to get probably about 12 more tonight.
He's probably Benji's probably going to say to Wigmore, you got to get rid of that quicker because I had 15 yards before anybody was near me.
Wigmore now 11 of 18. Murray 4 carries, 13 yards. GP Wells 2 for 17. 2nd and 10. Wigmore dropping, firing. Ivory Irvin 2 yards shy of the sticks on an immediate Indianapolis tackle. And Charles, I feel blessed so far tonight. Week 2's been kind of a snoozer. Haven't had a single one possession final score this week, and it seems like we may have gotten the best game. What a first half.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, this is a battle to go into the last second, I think.
3rd and 2, Wigmore rolling to his left. That pass is picked off. Jack Russell again. Threw it right to him. What was Wigmore looking at? Russell makes another critical play. 3 picks in the first half from Wigmore.
It looked like the tight end, Jackson Roberts, was the intended receiver. I don't know. Maybe he didn't run the right route. I'm not sure what happened on that. What looked like some miscommunication between the tight end and the quarterback.
And as you know, Charles, you have to take advantage of turnovers. It's not like Jack Wigmore is going to – I mean, it's very rare for a quarterback to throw 5, 6, 7 interceptions. I mean, eventually Wigmore is going to course correct.
Oh, you've done said it now.
No, don't put that on me. Eventually, you would assume that he would course correct. Indy can't. I mean, they got to be in a more advantageous position, assuming Wigmore is going to get back on track, as Charlie Baker has a lot of space down the field, tracked down from behind by Alvin Mack, but Baker didn't even need the initial block to get free for a first down.
Yeah, and look at the holes opened up by that offense. Alvin Mack tried to get him, but he just put the burners on, and it took like 10 yards to bring him down.
Reggio De Niro down the field like, I don't have anybody out here. 6 minutes left in the first, and Indianapolis' offense finally starting to click. Play fake from Pickler. Pickler dumps it short. He threw a pick. Oh, my goodness. Intercepted by the defensive tackle, Ralph Leopold. It has been the week of defensive linemen forced turnovers.
Leopold's going to be telling his grandkids about that one because defensive tackles rarely get interceptions. I don't know what Pickler was thinking on that one. I mean, he threw it right into the Lions' den.
Ralph Leopold's first career interception. Robert Cherry and Al Walker are the only defensive linemen in this game with any interceptions in their career. Now you can add Leopold into that mix. That is picked off by Anthony Weil. Are you serious?
This is crazy. I don't know why you got one of the better running teams in the league that's throwing it so much. I mean, I said at the beginning of the game, you look at their last game, that was against Canton. They were pretty successful running up the middle against one of the best teams in the league. I'm not sure why they're not leaning on that tonight.
The fourth interception by Baltimore. Their other 2 drives were touchdowns. Here in the first half, Indianapolis back at it again. How many chances are they going to get? Baltimore bringing some pressure. That pass nearly intercepted. Looking for De Niro. Second down.
They need to calm down, take a deep breath, maybe hand it to a fullback or a halfback and just settle down.
This is one of the craziest first halves I can remember. And despite the 4 picks, I mean, Baltimore's winning.
Barely by 1.
Second down and 10. Pickler will dump it short. Charlie Baker in the open field, and Levine, who's having a nice night, gets 3 to set up makes the tackle for a gain of 3. Will set up a 3rd down and 7 for the Ramblers.
I don't hate that play. I mean, only got 3, but I think they needed to settle down and get some positive yardage.
3rd down and 7, just outside possibly field goal range here. Pickler got to get rid of it. He's going to scramble and run to the 30. I don't hate it. It definitely gets them in better field goal range, but to have to settle for another field goal after forcing another turnover, it's just not enough points. It doesn't feel like, they're going to punt it. That is even more surprising.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Considering we're inside, Kiefer this season has a long of 45, but that is just bonkers. Although, I was going to say this punt is going to go out of bounds, but they get a bad bounce on it too. Boy, Baltimore's got to be feeling insanely fortunate right now.
Yeah, that is Christmas came early to Baltimore. That was we were looking at Indianapolis potentially taking the lead there, and man, Indianapolis stalled. They got to figure out a way to do some sustained drives and put some points on the board.
1st and 10 at the 20. Indianapolis' defense has been everywhere. The only person they haven't contained is Benji Matson. Now they'll go back to the ground. Warren Murray, nothing up the middle. Wrapped up by Adam Wiseman, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, last week they didn't do a lot of swing passes, screen passes out of the backfield. That might be something they can lean on a little bit here, just to get some yardage and some momentum, and not minimize the risk, if you will.
2nd and 9. Wigmore's pass deflected and incomplete. Rick Evans once more in traffic. He's got 3 tackles, a pass deflection, and a pick 6 to his name in the first half.
I have a feeling Indianapolis is dialing this one up as they put one lineman.
3rd and 9.
That was the worst prediction ever.
Trip to the right, roll to the right, and roll to the left, rather. Wigmore's pass is incomplete. This Indianapolis defense, Melodious Manning on the coverage, has done a terrific job on this elite Baltimore receiving core. Mac Chima and Ivory Irvin have combined for 4 catches on 11 targets, and a punt coming here from Baltimore.
That wasn't so bad. They sent the blitzer in.
It looked worse than it actually was. Punt is away. A lot of space to return from the 30, and Xavier Knight is pushed forward to the 38-yard line. He's been targeted twice with no catches. Almost had that touchdown in the back of the end zone, but that challenge failed. Pickler 3 for 9 for 25 yards in the first half. Baltimore dominating most offensive statistics, although Indianapolis surprisingly outrushing Baltimore in the first half. Handoff to Baker, not much there. Gio Bolt and company in on the stop, a 1.5-yard gain for Baker.
This is, it's show me time now for Indianapolis. They've been given so many opportunities with decent field position here.
3:45 to go in the first half. Still down a point, despite how well their defense has played. Misdirection to Sosa, and he would have had it if the block would have held. Alvin Mack makes another terrific play to force the Ramblers into another 3rd and long.
Oh, I mean, if you're expecting to fool a 9-season veteran like Alvin Mack, it doesn't happen very often. He showed his discipline there, stayed in his lane, and was able to shut it down.
Indy is 2 for 7 on 3rd downs in the ball game tonight. Pickler fires, middle pick, Frank Smith. Baltimore is crashing the middle of the field. Pickler is not seeing it, and Baltimore's got a 1st down.
Wow. I mean, again, another 9. Let's go back to the 9-season veteran. Frank Smith is as well. I mean, it's hard to fool him, and if if you make the slightest mistake against those linebackers, they're going to make you pay for it.
It really feels like Indianapolis has blown a grand opportunity here in the first half. Another turnover. They're down 1, 14-13, 3:15 to go. Needing another stop as Wigmore with pressure at his feet. That pass is deflected. And this is a war of I don't know how to describe it, Charles. It's a war.
He's got 24 pass attempts
yeah.
There's still time left in the first half. It's insane.
I've not had a moment to catch our breath. This has been a wild and wacky first half. Wigmore again down the field. Oh, it's almost picked. Adam Wiseman couldn't come up with it. 3rd down.
Ooh, man, I hope that's not one of the plays that they, opportunities that falls through the cracks. And after the game, they could have won if he was able to hold on to that, because that's one you have to keep, especially when you're looking at a 1-point game.
3rd down, bunch to the right. Looks like man coverage here. Wigmore rolling. He had to get rid of it quickly because there was a blitz coming off the outside. Mac Chima was the intended target, and again, Indy's defense comes up in the clutch.
I mean, I don't think he expected Scarborough to be waiting there for him, gnashing his teeth. Just threw that whole play into the dirt.
Punt is away from Coffins. And that will bounce inside the 5. Coffins is right.
Woo! That was a good punt there, sir. This kind of makes me nervous, Cam. The way the game's been going, this deep in their own territory. And then Johnny Pickler likes to roll the dice, so let's keep our fingers crossed here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Charles. This is it's dangerous territory at the 3-yard line. Hand off, Baker, and he is pummeled just beyond the line of scrimmage. Frank Smith again. We've already seen 14 3rd downs in the first half.
I mean, we've said a couple times that Indy's been dialing up the heat on defense. Let's do the same on Baltimore. Let's put some pressure on Johnny and see how he responds.
And off, Baker. Not much there, and I wouldn't be surprised, Charles, if they just ran it again. The defense has been playing so well. You don't want to make a huge mistake down here in your own end.
Yep, sure. I'm always nervous, Johnny. Again, Johnny likes to roll the dice.
Draw.
That was smart.
Yeah, not much there. Rob Noel's been bottled up. Brought down quickly, and that'll be a 3-and-out. Robert Brady on that tackle. Punt back to Baltimore. Coming up, well, that we have reached the 2-minute warning. What a bizarre first half. Indy 13, Baltimore 14. It's a Monday night spectacular for a reason here in Week 2.
Yeah, definitely bizarre. I mean, this punt out of the end zone isn't easy either.
Got our new Monday night spectacular theme music going tonight. Hope you are enjoying that as Ivory Irvin will get the ball up to the Indy 41-yard line. Plenty of time for Baltimore to make something happen.
And great field position as well on the 41-yard line. They just need to stop throwing it in the middle. I think they figured out that Benji is their target, Benji Matson. So maybe throw some routes to the sidelines.
Yeah, and he's been quiet after that hot start. Now 7 catches on 11 targets, but he has not been able to get open as freely as he was early in this ball game. Ball rests at the Indy 41-yard line with Baltimore up 1, despite 4 first-half turnovers. Wigmore, there's a flag, and I'm not sure what this one is. Wow. 3 different penalties on Baltimore in the first half.
How? That's one of those penalties, Cam, you don't see very often. I'm telling you, though, if they keep doing that rollout, Scarborough's gonna get a sack.
Yeah.
Because he is smelling it every time.
They called it on Bleeker. So we've seen a block in the back, pass interference, an eligible man downfield, 4 turnovers, probably one of the sloppiest first halves in Vulture history, yet they're up by a point. Wigmore hands it off to Murray. Murray is chased down from behind by Robert Cherry. His first tackle of the night will set up 2nd and long.
Yeah, Cherry went air. He dove on top of the running back. That could hurt somebody.
Coming up on the halftime report, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk, a recap of this insane first half. Which 0-2 teams are hitting the panic button and which 2-0 teams can't be overconfident? It's all coming up on the halftime report.
Can't wait to see what they're wearing.
Wigmore fires into everybody. There's just everybody there. What kind of route tree was that, Charles?
It was like a scrum in rugby.
Throw that out. I don't know. What do you think? Baltimore's just trying to beat zone coverage and Indy's playing more man than they expected?
I don't know. I don't know, Cam. I really don't. I mean, it looks like the only route time they throw to the sides is when they do a rollout.
3rd and 15, Baltimore, and their passing game just befuddled here in this first half. Wigmore fires down the field, caught by Homer in the scoring range with 1:07 to go, and they'll take their first timeout. Boy, do they need that.
Well, they did, yeah. I mean, now it's just they have to walk away with 3 here, Cam. Don't roll the dice too much.
There's Wigmore's numbers, surprisingly, in terms of completed passes, 89 yards outside, 106 inside, but it's all the incomplete passes in the middle that have garnered the attention.
I mean, he's on path for 50-plus attempts tonight.
Wigmore again nearly picked. Wow. Rick Evans almost stole another touchdown.
I know. He's going to be kicking himself for that one because he had to work a little bit harder for that last interception for a touchdown. But on this one, man, I think he would have had clear sailing.
Wigmore, 12 of 29 with a QBR of 48 in the first half. Wigmore again finds Irvin, and then a face mask at the end of it by Indy will give him 5 more yards. An incidental called on Evans. First down at the 11, but more importantly, Charles, it stops the clock and saves Baltimore timeout.
You know, on that play, was that the Irvin that caught it, right?
Yep.
It looked like his arms were 10 foot long. It's just... I didn't think he was going to get that, and all of a sudden the arm stretched out.
Man coverage again here for Indy across the board. Wigmore's pass caught, touchdown. Ivory Irvin beat Anthony Weil, easy for the score.
Irvin went up to Wigmore and said, do the exact same thing. My arms are 10 foot long.
Wow. Weil just got burned. And that is your Nice Hands catch of the game, presented by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. Baltimore extends their lead to 7. now. 21-13 Vultures on top of the Ramblers.
They've been keeping them in it, and they've been keeping Indianapolis in it, and on that last possession, did what they needed to do. Started off in good field position and some fantastic passes. I mean, they still kept going into the middle, but on that one, they found something with Irvin.
Xavier Knight on the return up to the 28. Indianapolis' offense has not scored an offensive touchdown, whereas Jack Wigmore now with 3 passing touchdowns somehow has a QBR of 63, which was higher than most of my chemistry scores in school. Not a science guy.
He's looking to put up some big numbers here if he stays on this pace.
2 timeouts for Indy, 54 seconds left. Raw to Baker, gets 5, and for now, Indianapolis will stay conservative just before the half.
And Indianapolis gets the ball second half?
Yes, that's correct. So they have every reason to not want to make another mistake here. And off, Sosa. 3rd and 2. And Indy, I believe, will burn a timeout to see if they can convert this 3rd down and maybe get into field goal range.
Yeah, maybe get a penalty, you know, the pass interference penalty and deep in the red zone.
Well, I got one already. 7 in the box for Baltimore. Play fake. Pickler all day. Johnny Pickler's pass caught by De Niro. They'll quickly hurry to try and get another playoff. 8 seconds. They have 1 timeout. Pickler trying to get into scoring range. They run it, and that is not going to do it. They'll call their last timeout. They'll have to set up a Hail Mary. I think, Charles, they were concerned with getting another pass play off there. Thought maybe they could get some yards on the ground, but that was foiled.
Yeah, I mean, they got another shot here. So, and again, I don't understand the run out of that, but I guess
they're losing time. They only had, I think they snapped it with 7 seconds left. That was tough. Johnny Pickler, deep drop back. He will fire long, and that pass is almost caught by Roosevelt. That was a great Hail Mary attempt from Pickler, but it falls to the ground, and that is the end of a crazy first half. 21-13. Baltimore takes the lead into the break. Your thoughts on the first half, Charles?
A lot of mistakes made. I mean, hopefully both of these coaches know what they're doing. They have a lot of experience. Hopefully they make the right adjustments in halftime, maybe see a little cleaner game on the field. But I think, give a lot of opportunities for Indianapolis to take the lead here. I think they're going to have some pointed discussions in the locker room about that. But Baltimore needs to, spread the ball around a little bit more outside of the middle. Look at the outside of the out of the backfield, left side, right side, kind of anything but the middle. Because with the exception of a couple passes by Irvin, they've had to pay for it. But a lot of improvement on both sides, and I think this is going to be a pretty tough battle till the end of the half.
Mattson crushed it in that first quarter, but went quiet after that. Before we send it to Tyler and Curtis, let's take a halftime break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
It's good. I think we are hanging in there, Curtis, with how about, welcome back to a new season. Welcome back to a new Monday Night Spectacular. Welcome back to our third season doing this. Yes, this has been a game. As far as first games go for a Monday Night Spectacular, I think the SFL has gotten off to a flyer. What a fantastic start. At least from a viewership perspective, I think these coaching teams are a little upset with their quarterbacks at the moment, but I think we're pretty happy with how back and forth it's been. Curtis figures things out here. Let's go ahead and deep dive quicker into what happened. Of course, Cam mentioned it. Benji Matson has decided that he's going to take off in the first quarter, but not really do so much in the second quarter. This defensive backfield for Indianapolis has really stolen the show. Only one contracted safety, but Rick Evans, who's now played in the free safety spot for the last season and a couple games now here for the Ramblers, has really formed himself into a role, got himself a pick six to really put Indy back, out in front. It was 10-0 midway through that first quarter, and then Baltimore does Baltimore things and continues to roll. But then we see the dynamics of both these quarterbacks. If you're Indianapolis fans and watching Johnny Pickler for the first time, you cannot be too worried. He has these type of games where he will be very inaccurate. He will be very turnover happy. And you just have to play through it. You have to make sure you have a good running game every single week for him. Otherwise, he is going to throw these interceptions. And for Wigmore, this is how much better Wigmore is a quarterback than Johnny Pickler. Because yes, Wigmore will also have these games like we've seen here today, but he's also able to maintain his composure and keep Baltimore within games more often. And that is why we see the scoreline as we do 21-13 in favor of the Vultures.
Well, the two quarterbacks, they are combined 18 for 43. They currently enroll at the Stormtrooper Academy, where they've been training their shooting and throwing in this case. That being said, you talked about Pickler's turnovers. Wigmore has actually had the turnover bug more than Pickler in this game. 4 interceptions for Wigmore in this first half, but Baltimore still has an 8-point lead. This is probably one of the sloppier games we've seen, really in recent memory, but it's still very competitive, very entertaining, no doubt about that, and a lot of football left out.
Absolutely. I mean, the one kind of nuance we haven't seen is them implement a whole lot of the Warhorse and new tailback GP Wells a whole lot. Only a combined 8 carries for them in comparison, 31 passing attempts for the man under center, Mr. Wigmore. And so as this game progresses, as they come out of the halftime, expect to see them more to try and maintain some semblance of composure and maybe take some of the pressure off Wigmore as Baltimore try and extend this 8-point lead.
Fair enough. Let's delve away from SGO Stadium for the moment, and let's talk about things around the league. And namely, we like doing things like this early in the season. We're through week 2, essentially, with this one game left to do. And there are overreactions abound throughout the entire league. And we're going to start with the good, and then we'll go to the bad, because the good is a shorter list. There are 2, count them 2, undefeated teams left in season 23. The defending champions, the Florida Storm, and then the Fort Worth Toros. I'm going to start with Florida, and I'm going to ask you, are they overconfident at this point, or do you think it's justified coming in off the championship and playing as well as they have?
No, I think it's justified. I think, of course, one of the best, if not the best coaching staff, arguably, in the SFL. They have come in and played well against Chicago in the opener, and then they took down their opponents this week as well. And so it's no surprise we see them, of course, over DC, I should say. It's no surprise for them to maintain this pace. Chicago, of course, the former Seattle franchise, with a lot of different input in that coaching room and locker room, and just trying to figure out what's going on there in Chicago. We'll talk about more of them later. But right now, Florida gets an extra bye week to prepare for a very hot Charleston team. Of course, only one game under their belt. when they play in week 4. And then they've got Nashville, Bossier, and Louisiana. So a couple of teams that should be around the middle of the pack this season. So it's a good warm-up before Florida gets into the back half of their schedule, which they will see Canton, Vancouver, and Minnesota in near back-to-back weeks. And so this is all just fine-tuning for that late season push. If they can continue this form, which I expect them to, Florida should have no problems making the postseason. I don't think they're overconfident at all. As Mike St. Green put it, even though I kind of digged at him a little bit in chat, he has a great point. They're methodical in their approach, and that's all that Florida is.
Okay. And then after an unceremonious thrashing of Carolina, Fort Worth sits at 2-0. They're the only other undefeated team. Overconfident for them or justified?
Yeah, don't remind me about the Carolina game. I don't even know why you're reminding yourself about the Carolina game, Curtis.
I'm a man of the people.
Yeah. We gotta play out for them. Anywho, as far as the Toros go, my take on them is a bit different. I don't think they should be overconfident. However, their schedule at this point is a little bit weaker than Florida's throughout this first couple of weeks. They have, newcomers. Lexington, they played in week 1 and took down, by 2 scores. They, of course, throttled Carolina, in which we'll get plenty of positive reactions from the rest of the Harishas and everybody out there. But now I've got a weekend Atlanta as far as rosters, as far as depth goes. Then they've got Albuquerque, and then things start to really turn up for them. So we really haven't seen a very a real. I mean, we should have seen them, of course, in week 2 against Carolina. Should have seen maybe a better performance from Carolina to give us more of a sense of what Fort Worth has. Except Fort Worth just showed us everything. Carolina showed us nothing. So the Toros, I think, will have, if there's any 2 teams that could be overconfident or could be feeling overconfident after a few weeks, it very well could be more Fort Worth than Florida. At the same time, I don't think either team is overconfident. They're both professional, and of course, I've been harsh on Fort Worth in seasons past, but they've always proven me wrong. They've always proven me that they've got a good squad, even when they're down. And of course, Marcus Dunhill can really come up with a few twists in his game, and of course run a few QB sneaks as well. We usually see that once or twice a season, but never really past that. So expect some changes for the Toros coming into week 3 versus Atlanta.
Okay.
But again, two teams I don't think are overconfident at all.
Fair enough. We'll go rapid fire on the latter stage of this. This is going to be the panic button, and 5 words or less for each team. Are they hitting the panic button? We'll start with Chicago, 0-2 currently.
I think Chicago's panicking at this point. Nothing really to really say too much about that. I think they were expected to probably beat Charleston at this point, but now you've got Arizona, Pittsburgh, Canton, and Lexington, who looks much stronger after week 1. And so I think Chicago should really be changing their game plan. And the big thing for me is they've had 4 seasons. With their 2 winning seasons, they've won their first game. With their 2 losing seasons, they've gone on multiple game stretches, 3 games and 8 games losing stretches, and which they have never come out of the hole from. So, if history repeats itself, Chicago will not. It could be the same writing on the walls for Chicago already in week 2.
All right. I said 5 words or less. You gave me 94. So
You're
there's
welcome.
that. Let's go to the North Division. There's 3 0-2 teams there. Again, rapid fire. DC 0-2. Panic button?
Not a panic button.
Okay.
They should
City
play
0-2.
well versus Queen City, because that's the thing. Queen City, they'll play. Queen City,
Mhm.
They knew there was going to be a rough season. DC's not panicking. Queen City knows where they stand.
Okay. And then Pittsburgh, newcomer to the league, 0-2.
It's a feeling out season. They're not panicking. They realize where they're at in this season. They know how tough it is being a newcomer in this league.
Okay. And back to the West, it is Los Angeles at 0-2, the last one.
50-50, cautiously optimistic for them. They're expecting to do big things. They've been preaching they're going to do big things. 0-2 to start, not the worst scenario if they go 1-3. More than likely not making the postseason.
Okay, we'll revisit this in a couple of weeks and see if there are any new entries into that panic button. But we've got an 8-point game to get back to in Baltimore, back at SGO. Cameron Irvine, Charles Jockety on the other side with the second half. Tyler and I will be around for post game. Thanks for watching the Monday Night Spectacular halftime report, and we'll see you on the other side.
Pull the full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties.
All right, welcome back. Slight technical difficulties there, but back to our second half from Sports Gamers Online Stadium. Breaks GPT trying to get an extra bit of love in the broadcast, but Indy will start with it on the 25-yard line. And apologies to Chris Curtis, he was muted and it was my fault. So don't want to let anybody think that that was his doing. That was my doing. But Charles, we get started here in the second half, and Indianapolis, they have a shot, down 8, wipe away all that insanity from half number 1 and see what they can do here in the third quarter.
Yeah, let's trust the adjustments. they've got the right players on their team to get the lead and potentially win this game. So let's see what we're going to see on the field.
As Johnny Pickler will take off and run on the play fake. He'll pick up 5 to start the half. Pickler has been unafraid to take off. And look, Charles, they came back in the second half last week against Minnesota, so they're pretty used to it.
One of the things that we didn't really talk a whole heck of a lot about is the Baltimore linebackers. I mean, they've been really playing well tonight.
Well, I concur, as Charlie Baker is going to be put down by Robert Brady, who's got his 3rd tackle of the night. Of course, Leopold has a pick as well, but Alvin Mack and Frank Smith combining for 14 of the team's 22 solo tackles in that first half, and quickly it's a 3rd and 5 for Indy.
And Frank, I don't know if you said this, but Smith has also got an interception as well.
That pass is knocked away. I did not mention it. Thank you, Charles. Ben stacking paper with the swat on De Niro, and Indy unceremoniously goes 3 and out to start the third quarter.
You don't want the Smith family waiting for you in the parking lot.
That's terrifying.
I thought I lost you.
I don't want it. I was stopped in my tracks. I don't want anybody waiting for me in the parking lot. That's rough. That's a rough scene. Ivory Irvin gets it up to the 31-yard line. You are watching this game from Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore. Check out sportsgamersonline.com or check them out on YouTube and see why millions visit their website and YouTube channel. First down for the Vultures. We had a halftime show and everything, and I still feel like we haven't caught our breath.
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
Hand off Murray, and Murray will get 6. That's Murray's 7th carry of the game. He's gotten the bulk of the carries tonight, as Wells, who had over 100 yards last week, just 2 carries for 17 yards in the first half.
Yeah, but I mean, agreed, but not as many carries in total as I expected.
Yeah, 31 passes to 9 runs for 40 total plays. They're trying to get the ground game going here, but G.P. Wells cannot get away from Adam Wiseman. That'll set up a third down and 4.
Wiseman just threw him down on the ground.
Say again, Charles?
I'm sorry, I was just saying Adam Wiseman just did an ugly throwdown.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that you see waiting for me outside the parking lot. Wigmore dropping to throw off his back foot. That pass is almost intercepted off the foot of Manning. Wigmore was looking for Mac Chima, but once again, Indy's defense comes up with a stop.
Maybe we're not looking at this the right angle, Cam. Maybe both of these defenses are so brilliant that they're just completely dictating the game.
I'm starting to get that sense as well, Charles. I agree with you. It's these have been some blanketed receivers tonight. It hasn't been a whole lot open, and huge credit to Indy. The only guy that was killing him was Matson, and he's kind of disappeared from this game. Right now, the best offensive weapon for Indy is Charlie Baker. He's got 41 yards on 10 carries and has been He's been the steady hand for the Ramblers in an otherwise chaotic night. First and 10 of the 22. Pickler will drop the throw. He'll dump it off out of the backfield to Joel Harleman. His first touch of the night. He'll get 4.
That's what you need. You got to make sure that the defense is worried about every point on the field, and those little swing passes may not be sexy, but they open the eyes of the defense.
These are updated numbers. Indy getting over 100 yards there. 5 first downs to Baltimore's 13. Draw. Pickler almost got sacked, and Baker almost got the first down. That was dangerous.
Well, last game they used the draw play very effectively in the second half, and we may see a lot of that tonight as well.
Probably the best draw team in the league so far in season 23, and they're taking advantage of that aggressiveness from Baltimore. 3rd and short, handoff right up the gut. That's Tino Sosa, and Sosa picks up an Indy first down. Their 6th of the contest.
Yeah, a great play calling, in my opinion. I mean, they needed to get a couple first downs in the book to get something positive running for the Ramblers.
6:50 left in the third quarter. Both teams in another chess match just here in the second half as Baker finds no room to run. Alvin Mack on the tackle. Baltimore's coach Pat Nitty trying to clean up the mistakes from the first half. So far, clean sheet. Second down. Pickler against the blitz is going to be sacked. Robert Brady. Check that. Nate Brown with the takedown. And every defensive lineman for Baltimore seems to be eating tonight, not playing that front 5.
Yeah, they overloaded the top side of the line there, and they didn't have anything. It was either going to be Nate Brown or it was going to be Alvin Mack. They both had a beeline.
3 different players for Baltimore have a sack. 2 different players have a pick. 2 different players have a pass deflection on this defense. 3rd and 15. Pickler drops to throw, will take off and run, and that's a fumble at the end of the play. It's picked up by Baltimore. First down to the Indy 38-yard line. Frank Smith was in on the action again.
And that's why you always get nervous when the quarterback runs. They're not used to getting that many carries, but what really opened my eyes is it started off with the 3 down linemen for Baltimore. They were able to put enough pressure to cause the quarterback to run out of the pocket, and it was just disastrous.
Alvin Mack recovered the fumble. I'm surprised we don't get a challenge on that, Charles, because it actually looked, slide or no slide, it actually looked like Pickler's knee was down.
I don't know how you saw that. There was like 1,000 people around him. You have better eyes
true.
than I.
I may be seeing things. I'm a little rattled since you said that I was going to be met in the parking lot. No gain after
Sorry about that, partner.
There's Russell's night. He's been great.
But it's all good now. You're good.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right.
Just don't mess it up again.
2nd and 10. Wigmore drops. That is caught. Ivory Irvin starting to take over a little bit. That's a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a receiving standpoint, it's been pretty much the Madsen-Irvin show with 2 touchdowns for Madsen and 1 for Irvin.
Wigmore, what a stat line. 3 touchdowns, 4 picks, 237 through the air. 3rd and short. 8 in the box for Indy. And the handoff goes to Murray. He expertly slices to the inside just at the right moment to pick up a first down.
Yeah, and the block was good enough to push it out and give that opening in the gap where he could run through and get those yards.
7 turnovers tonight in a sloppy affair. In our first Monday Night Spectacular of the season, G.P. Wells put Jack Russell in a blender. Oh, what a move inside for the first down.
I think that was Gaines that was lined up. I mean, he should have lined up at fullback, but man, he just blasted up the middle. I think he set the tone on that run and allowed the running back to get that great run.
31 yards on just 4 carries tonight for Wells, but he has been super efficient. 4 minutes left in the third. Handoff Murray, all kinds of room. The middle is wide open for these backs. He picks up 9.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx them, but looks like they've figured out what adjustments they need to make. And they're running it to perfection so far, and the Indianapolis defense is on their heels.
Baltimore trying to make this a 2-score game for the first time since Indy led 10-0. Off the pick 6. Handoff, Wells. Got away and scored. Touchdown, Baltimore.
That's just power, Cam. I mean, the blocking wasn't anything to write home about on that one. That was pure Wells on that one. Looked like he was going to get brought down by Adam Wiseman there in the backfield, but he just kept moving his legs and pushing into the end zone.
Wells' first touchdown in a Baltimore Vulture uniform, and now Indy is in big trouble when you consider, what the offenses have done tonight. It's 28-6, and the game doesn't really feel all that close anymore. 6-play, 37-yard drive. The Rambler defense has done, a remarkable job considering, but the Rambler offense letting him down at this point in the game.
They've got the right quarterback at Indianapolis, Cam. That's, I think Tyler said it well in the halftime show. He's been in these situations before and is able to turn things around. And Indianapolis is going to look for him to do this. Put some magic on the field. But so far, they haven't shown a lot of sustained drives.
Pickler 5 of 14 for 53 yards. He has hit 4 different targets with passes. Handoff to Baker, and Baker is decked. Frank Smith again. That is his 8th tackle to go with Mac's 9.
Yeah, Mac and Smith are killing it as a linebacking crew.
Second and 9. Pickler on a rollout. Pickler's going to be sacked. Robert Brady with his first sack of the night. 4 different Vultures with takedowns of Pickler.
Yeah, it looks like the defense is starting to, push their way around a little bit. Even what's scary is a little bit better than they had in the first half. They're getting their way on that offensive line for Indianapolis, and that's kind of odd because that offensive line is pretty stout.
Bringing pressure again. Pickler looking for anybody to get open down the field, and he airmailed it, looking for Roosevelt, who only has 1 catch tonight on 5 targets, and the Indy offense imploding before our eyes.
Yeah, that was not their best series tonight. They need to do a little bit better here as we start losing time here in the second half.
They're putting their defense in a very difficult position. They've been on the field a lot tonight. And when you look at Indianapolis's drives, starting with their second in the second quarter, 2 plays and a pick, 3 and out, 3 plays and an interception, 3 and out. The drive at the end of the half that got nothing, and then 3 and out, fumble, and a 3 and out here in the third quarter. They just not had a lot of movement tonight. Handoff Murray, and Russell is a tag team with a buddy, Robert Cherry, to bring him down.
Your point, Cam, this play style that Baltimore's showing in the second half, it's going to, tax the defense for Indianapolis. They're getting on the field. Each series they get out there, they're going to have less wind to try and stop the running game of Baltimore.
2 minutes left in the third. Toss out to Wells. Great block on the outside, and Wells is going to pick up a first down.
Yeah, great vision on the field by Wells. Looked like he was thinking about cutting in, but the hole closed quickly and was able to do a quick, agile bounce to the outside and add a couple more yards.
That was Arnold with the block. Baltimore into Indy territory as the Ramblers' upset hopes are fading. The over-under 41.5. We're at 41 right now, so right on the cusp of that. Murray gets a yard. The Week 3, Charles, starts with Marcus Dunhill's first ever return to Atlanta. First time he's ever played. I don't know how it never got on the schedule. But first time back in Atlanta since winning the Season 14 championship there. That is Friday Night Football with Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith Friday at 8 Eastern to get your Week 3 started off right.
I never knew. I thought maybe Atlanta went into Fort Worth once.
Yep, and that's what it was, as Gaines got the carry for 4 yards.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore's good play calling here. They're not giving up on their run, trying to pass it too much like they did in the first half.
3rd and 5, just outside of scoring range. Play action for Wigmore. He's got all kinds of time. Fires down the field. Caught. First down at the 21-yard line. Daly Holder with the reception. And the Vultures looking smooth in the 3rd.
And I think we're starting to see the cracks in the Indianapolis defense. I hate to say that, but when you're on the field that much, it's hard to be as aggressive as their game plan is dictating.
See the turnovers. Baltimore losing that battle, but certainly winning on the scoreboard. They've had 6 more plays in Indy. It feels like much more than that, as Wigmore's pass is caught. David Anderson in double coverage. Nighty-night. Wow, what a play.
Holy smokes. I think that was his first target tonight. And he made it count. I mean, I did not think he had a shot at catching that whatsoever. Right in between 2 defenders. Holy smokes. I mean, that could have been the catch of the night right there.
David Anderson's 3rd career touchdown on 28 receptions in his 4th season with the team. Has been patient here in Baltimore. And he hasn't had a ton of production, but he sure does have a lot of rings, as the Vultures clobbering Indy in this 3rd quarter.
I mean, it's got to be frustrating. You got your eyes on the likes of Irvin and Matson, and Anderson sneaks in the middle and just went up on the board.
Well, this has turned into a rout. Xavier Knight gets it up to the 26-yard line. Here's a crazy stat for you, Charles. If you take out the 2nd quarter, in the 1st quarter and 3rd quarters combined, Baltimore has outgained Indianapolis 306-12.
That's crazy. And we talked about adjustments, Cam, and it looked like Baltimore knew what they needed to do. I mean, it's like night. I mean, you mentioned some stats from the first half, but I think Baltimore's playing night and day different than the first half.
Absolutely, and now Wigmore has really packed his stats. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, as Joel Harleman gets a fullback carry and picks up 4 yards, so that'll start the Rambler drive off right. This game's not over. If Indy can put together a touchdown drive, they're still in this thing. But it's getting late early, 35-13, all Baltimore in that 3rd quarter. We'll be right back.
This 2-foot private any rebroad or account to the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Start of the 4th quarter here in Baltimore, 35-13. The Ramblers have the lead. Ramblers have the deficit against Baltimore, rather, as Baker gets a first down. He continues his solid night. He's up over 50 rushing yards. First down, Indy.
I think the dulcet tones of Chris Curtis had something to do on that play. Just relaxed everybody, knew what they needed to do, and we had a good run.
It's good meditation, Charles.
Yes.
And off Sosa, and he's got nowhere to go. Young Vaught was in quickly, stacking paper, cleaned it up, 2nd and 10.
They have to do something on this. You know, it goes without saying. We're in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes left, and they're down by 22. But they have to put some points on the board here.
Baltimore's defense impressive. Just 5 completed passes for Indianapolis tonight. They'll hand it off to Baker, and Baker caught from behind by the outside rusher. So 3rd down and 8. I understand what Indy's doing, trying to put Pickler in better positions here, but they're up a creek.
Yeah, let's see what they do here on the Baltimore side. See if they're going with 3 down linemen, so they were going to dial it up a little bit.
They drop 8. They've been doing that a lot tonight, and it's been working. That pass incomplete. Nobody open. Roosevelt was the intended target, and a miserable performance this has turned into from Indy's offense.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I haven't seen anything to build on here in this first half. Excuse me, the second half. There's some decent runs, but that option is quickly going by the wayside based on how much time's left and what the deficit is.
So the punt is away from the 18-yard line. Irvin will get it up to the 23. Charles, next week we are in Pittsburgh for the Riverhogs home opener. They'll take on Charleston, the team that Corey Menner and Gino McFly, their coach, and other present company came from. Charleston looked really solid last night against Chicago in their win. We'll see if Pittsburgh can get their first home win in front of their hometown fans. That's next week on the Monday Night Spectacular. Charleston at Pittsburgh, 8:15 Eastern. Hand off to Murray, and Warren Murray gets 6 on the carry.
I was quiet, Cam. I was going to ask if they serve barbecue at the Pittsburgh Riverhogs, but that was poor taste, so I decided not to say it.
So it's in poor taste, so you're not going to say it, but you said it.
No, I'm not going to say it. Be held accountable for saying that.
It's somebody else. Somebody else said it. 2nd and 4, 8:06 to go in the fourth. Hand off to Wells, and Wells will get a long 2, 3rd and short coming up.
I mean, it's been this running game's been brutal here in the second half, and just knocking the gas out of Indianapolis. They got to figure out some way to disrupt this offense.
3rd and 1. Hand off Murray, no problem. Anthony Wiles not had a great night. He was getting stonewalled trying to get to Murray on that play as well. 1st down, Baltimore.
Yep, I mean, what can you say, Cam? I mean, Baltimore saw what they needed to do here, and they're feeding it to their running backs, and Indianapolis doesn't have a way to stop them yet.
Indy has faced 15 3rd downs tonight. Wigmore's, Matson had it. Great hit from Jack Russell.
Yeah, that was a big hit. And it's hard to jar the ball out of Matson's hands. He's got great hands.
7 catches on 12 targets now for Matson, but still stuck on that 111 figure. Indy 4 of 15 on 3rd down and 1 for 5 in the second half. That has been a bugaboo for their offense. Meanwhile, Baltimore now has 18 first downs in this game. Still 7 minutes left. Wigmore to drop the throw. Did have some pressure. Irvin, sure hands, comes away with that. And it's been Matson in the first quarter and Irvin ever since, Charles. That's his 6th grab.
Well, I mean, he was guarded it looked like he was guarded by the nickel back. And that's a mismatch. And Wigmore saw that right at the snap.
Wigmore almost back up to 50% after that really tough first half. He has played an excellent second half. Wigmore, 3rd down. Look at the time. Wigmore gets away, picks up a first down. Look at all the running room up to the 39-yard line.
And that was another example. Oh, Scarborough was so close to getting another sack tonight. He was, you could smell it, but Wigmore tucked it in and ran and got lit up by Wiseman, it looked like.
Wigmore on the carry, gets 14 yards. That is the longest run of his career. Wigmore to throw. Fires. Wide open. He bobbled it. Jackson Roberts with the catch to the 7. And now every wide receiver and tight end on this roster, all 6, have caught a pass.
That's insane. I mean, and it's insane how open he was. That was a missed assignment there, clearly.
.305 yards now for Wigmore, who's hit the 50% mark. Shotgun look here, 5:40 to go in the 4th. Handoff to Murray, and he is wrapped up almost immediately.
I think the good thing, though, is that Jack kind of eased up on the pass happy and, kind of leaned on his running backs a little more this half.
Up to 24 runs for Baltimore in this game. That pass looking for Matson. Incomplete. Evans with another terrific deflection. 3rd and goal.
Ooh, I mean, that's the route you run Matson on, right? Just do a hook route right there on the goal line. But
the touchdown
great
on
defense.
it in the first half.
Sorry?
Yeah, he scored the touchdown on it in the first half. It looked very similar.
It was good coverage by Evans.
So 3rd and goal. Baltimore in this half went 3 and out on their first possession, but each of their last 2 possessions have gone for touchdowns. They're trying to make it 3 of their last 3 here on 3rd and goal. Mac Chima goes in motion. Chima quiet, 2 catches on 8 targets tonight, but always dangerous. Wigmore rolling in that direction. Wigmore files across his body, and Jack Russell was there to knock it away along with Evans. So Shark Tarkington will come out for his first field goal attempt of the night. But for Baltimore, the job is done in terms of bleeding time off the clock.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do. I don't think they're too upset about not putting 7 up, but they ate a lot of time off the clock and putting 3 more just to build to the cushion.
Well, Charles, we're 2 weeks in to the season. Any big surprises from your side of things, looking around the league?
That's a good question. I've honestly really been focused on the teams I'm playing. For scouting, we're putting a lot of time in there for scouting and coaching, and the teams that we're playing. No, I mean, we've got a pretty tough schedule, and they've been showing what they have in their roster on the field as well from a win standpoint.
How about Vancouver this week putting up 50 burger? Your boy Mateo Privado had a banner day. I'm sure that y'all were happy about that. And Lili Nakai with the touchdown as well. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall watching you watch that in real time. Yeah,
she was pumped, man. That was awesome. I mean, the whole game was not so fun for Mike, but it was fun for the Doherty family.
1st and 10 at the 20. Pickler drops to throw. That pass incomplete, but Alvin Mack hit Roosevelt a little too early. Haven't talked about it a lot, Charles, tonight, but Suron Yates has been definitely quiet for Indy in his return to Baltimore. This certainly has not gone the way he had hoped tonight after leaving the Vultures and joining the Ramblers, but I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, he's a beast. I'm actually shocked. He's been, like you said, he's been very quiet.
I suppose the silver lining is that it's just week 2, and now that storyline can rest, and Yates can continue his journey in Indianapolis without the chatter of the Baltimore exit. Pickler drops to throw. Still with just 5 completions on the night, and that pass is way overthrown, looking for Roosevelt. That is one of the biggest shockers of the night, is just the lack of chemistry between Pickler and Roosevelt. 1 catch on now 7 targets.
I honestly don't think he had any options on that play, Cam. I mean, plenty of time in the pocket, but the coverage was so solid downfield.
Pickler, middle, that's caught. Ryan Roosevelt, and Indianapolis will hurry it up.
What happens after you call him out?
Yep. JP's pass is caught. That's Xavier Knight getting away from a defender and nearly getting out of bounds to the Baltimore 43.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been targeted a lot tonight, but, man, that was a big pass they needed to keep this drive going.
Pickler again trying to force the ball in the middle of the field. Roosevelt was the intended target, will bring up second down.
I'm waiting for the kitchen sink blitz here, Cam. Not sure we're going to see it, but...
4 different players with a sack. Robert Brady, 5 total tackles on the defensive line, which is tough to do. That pass is overthrown again, and it's third down.
There's something, it looks like maybe the timing between the receivers and the quarterback's off a little bit tonight. I can't figure out why, he's not able to somewhat consistent connecting with his wide receivers.
3rd and 10. Pickler firing. That's caught to the 27-yard line. I think that may have been Roosevelt again. Wind up at the top of the bunch. Pickler looking for Knight. That pass is caught to the 15-yard line. First down, Indy.
Oh.
Moving
Looks
quickly.
like the Pickler family's been waiting for me in the parking lot.
Johnny in. Nearly caught by Roosevelt, but again, Roosevelt cannot haul it in. Right at about the 2-yard line, second down.
I think that was obviously not the best thing to happen because I think the Baltimore defense now can kind of settle down here and figure out what they need to do to stop them from getting in the end zone.
Roosevelt's got 4 of Johnny's 9 completions, 2nd and 10. Baltimore's defense shifting around like crazy. Roosevelt will go in motion, put 3 at the bottom of your screen. Pickler going that direction, wide open. Roosevelt put a juke on the defender and gets down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, he stepped out of bounds, but it looked like he had a clear path to the end zone there. Yeah, he was wide open.
Yep. Could have turned the corner, and he just didn't get his footing. So first and goal with a 2 now. Indy will get a chance to see their no-huddle goal line offense, which is always tough to pull off. They go underneath, and that pass is caught. Reggio De Niro for the touchdown.
That's needed to get something to build on there. That drive was pretty solid by Johnny.
Well, 3:55 left. Somewhere Mike St. Green is going to meet me in the parking lot for saying this, but I suppose it's not over if you can recover an onside kick. Extra point for Kiefer is good.
A lot going on in the parking lot after this game.
Sometimes you just say things and they stick. 38-20. Onside kick attempt, and that ball took a terrible bounce. It almost bounced right back into the lineman's hand, so Indy will get another shot at it, but that's not what they were looking for.
No, definitely not. Lou Williams was trying to play it off like he recovered it legally.
I think he was trying to play it off that he didn't have it at all. Trying to pull a magic trick out. All right, so they'll try it again, and this one is hauled in for Baltimore, so they'll take over the 28. 3:52 left.
Yeah, that was a pretty big tackle there by Matt Chapman. on special teams. If he wasn't able to bring him down, we were looking at another 7.
Here's your updated numbers since Mike O'Neill's criticizing our analysis of this game. Looks like an offensive dominant performance to me.
Yeah, normally when you go over 400, you should, as an offensive coordinator, you're pretty happy.
Well, and that's the tough thing for Indy too, because that 429 came a lot in the second half. I mean, their defense in the first half was absolutely terrific. Wiseman with the stop only picks up 2. It just, when you put that much pressure on your defense after the offense can't deliver, we'll look at points off turnovers in postgame, Charles, but I would imagine that considering Baltimore threw 4 picks in the first half, and Indy just did not take advantage.
Well, I mean, you need the defense needs the offense to stay on the field a little bit longer. Otherwise, they're going to be gassed late in the game.
2nd and 8. 3:10 to go. Handoff Murray. And a 3rd and 7 coming up. This is the play here for Baltimore. 3:13 for Wigmore passing. That is his first 300-yard game since their game against D.C. on April 6th. He had 341 that night.
Yeah, and he did a very solid recovery from his performance in the first half.
Last game he threw 4 picks was against Arizona on March 3rd, but only 1 touchdown in that game. It's the first time in the 4K23 era he's thrown 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. 3rd and 7, they'll just keep it on the ground, and Murray gets the first down. Wow, a conservative play just to try to bleed some clock, and Baltimore will continue to move offensively.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I think that's where the lack of gas is showing. That, earlier in the game they potentially would have nailed them right at the line of scrimmage.
Wigmore will get this down to the 2-minute warning, and that's where we stand. Baltimore 38, Indy 20, and forgive me, Mike, so many people move around in this league, Charles. I had forgotten just for a moment that Mike O'Neill's on this Indy team now, helping the coaching staff out. So, sorry that was a little harsh, putting up the offensive numbers. I just trying to make a point. Hand off to Murray. He will pick up 4, and the timeouts will start for the Ramblers.
Well, you know what not to do. That's, you learn. You got to learn from your losses more than your wins.
Indy's at Mexico City next week, Charles, fresh off a bye. And then they go home to host Nashville, a new divisional rivalry in the Central. So not an easy next couple of looks for the Ramblers. They've had a tough schedule to start with Minnesota in week 1 and now at Baltimore, and so they're just trying to hang on here. 1 timeout left, another 3rd down for Baltimore.
I think they'll be fine. I mean, I think it's good to get a loss like this out of the way early in the season.
And off to Murray. He's got the first down, and Baltimore can ice it. You love when games just kind of take care of themselves down the stretch, Charles, especially in a multiple score game this late. And it'll be Wigmore with knees. We'll get to our post-game show and we'll get out of here.
Yep, and we'll run through the parking lot.
Dude, at this point, man, I'm getting an Uber. Where's the rideshare line? I'm not.
I just wish I was faster than you, because the bear will get me.
I'm just going to leave my car there. I'll get it in the morning. Oh, my goodness. Well, partner, it was a wild evening. Baltimore dominated the second half, but that first half sure was fun. I'm looking forward to the Pittsburgh Riverhogs home opener next week against Charleston. Those 2 teams, very interesting. Connor Weston has been great for Pittsburgh And that offense and their defense is pretty solid. I would suspect, Charles, that next week we won't see 58 points on the board. Both those teams seem a little bit more defensive, but I've been wrong before.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, when you and I do a game, expect the unexpected.
No doubt. Well, Baltimore's 2-0. They are at Minnesota next week, Charles, next Sunday at 6:30. What do you think of that match?
That's going to be a good one.
Two playoff teams from last season, one of Minnesota's few losses last season. It was a tight one. That's the last kneel we need. Who gets your game ball, Charles?
All right. Well, the numbers may not jump out at you, but I'm going to give it to Wigmore. It's how he bounced back from that first half. It really made some smart passes. Didn't push it too much in the middle, and was able to hit that momentum on the Baltimore side, and they just took over completely. But there's a couple other people out there. I mean, we talked about the linebackers as well that played, I think, out of the league. They were playing so good, Smith and Mack, and you can't forget Matson and Irvin as well. They all played well, but I think we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Wigmore.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'll look at that 11 third down conversions for Baltimore. I'll go to an unsung hero. I'll give it to Robert Brady. There's your points off turnovers. 10 points off of 4 turnovers for Indy. We talked about that earlier. Robert Brady, man, it's tough to do what he did tonight on the defensive line. We'll get his final numbers here coming up. But Robert Brady with 6 total tackles, a sack. He had 4 tackles for loss in the game. I thought he was just terrific on a night where another defensive lineman was stealing headlines. Robert Brady steals it for me. Charles, we'll see you next week, buddy.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right, let's send it to our post game to wrap it up. Tyler and Curtis, take it away.
And with that, the game is over. Baltimore comes up with a big-time win over Indianapolis, who were outscored 27-7 in the second half. Tyler, as we delve into this, that second half was a far cry from what we saw in the first.
And it all just bottles down to a theory that I have. And the theory is scoreline is what it is. But I think Indianapolis's defensive game plan was just how they drew it up, just how they wanted to draw it up, had the offense been the perfect counterpart, in which it wasn't. If this game was a little bit closer, if they maybe would have kept that 14 to 13 point lead before Baltimore gets the end of half touchdown, we might have seen Johnny Pickler maybe make an easier turnaround. But being down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and really just not having that composure to say, we're not down by a whole lot. we're still close. We can keep running our offense. It really just, it took them too long for that offense to finally say, you know what, this run game isn't working. We have to go pass. We have to try and get stuff done with Johnny Pickler. By that point, Baltimore's already sitting back and like, all right, we know what we're doing here. And we saw it. My halftime changes to get the Warhorse and GP Wells involved come to fruition. They get themselves going, and it just, that's what happened. Baltimore was able to do what they were to do. Here at SGO, Indianapolis just was unable to change what they wanted to do.
Yeah, and so Baltimore moves to 2-0, and they go into a game against Minnesota next week that should be a darn good one, as those teams, two very competitive teams as they were last season, it should be the same this season. Looking ahead to next week, you got a whole slew of games to choose from. Tyler, give me your most exciting matchup and your reason or reasons why.
Now, I think, of course, early on the season, every game is exciting. And, of course, we'll be back here next week with the Monday Night Spectacular crew once again. But I've got my eyes set on one game in particular, and I think it's going to be Arizona and Chicago, which is going to be the game to watch. And here's why. You've got Arizona, who's coming off a bye. They're going to be ready for Chicago. Chicago, back-to-back losses. They need a turnaround. They've only played Arizona once in franchise history, but that one game had 70 points scored, and Chicago, then known as Seattle, come home and take home the victory. They're up in the Great Pacific Northwest. Now here in Chicago for the first time. Let me just go ahead and make sure for these Warriors. It will be the first time for the Warriors. There, a second time they'll be at home in there after falling to Charleston. But here is the big third. How do you respond to getting hit in the mouth at home? How do you make sure that you're able to put up a very competitive game plan against one of the best game planners in the SFL, that being Mr. Eddie Gage? And for Arizona, has this week of extra preparedness helped you, like it has helped Charleston have week 1 to prepare for Chicago? It's going to be a massive test for both clubs here early on.
So before I get to mine, if you ever get the chance to watch a close Arizona game with Eddie Gage in the room, it is a treat to behold. I'm pretty sure that had it not gone his way, we'd have had chairs thrown at the convention. So there is that. My game to watch out for is one that Charles Doherty is also watching out for, and that is the Vancouver Legion traveling to Canton, Ohio to take on the Canton Classics. Fatherhood Festival Field is where they will be at, and that game features two teams who play each other very, very well. We've had shootouts. We've had close games with those two. We've had blowouts as well. You really don't know what you're going to get when you have those two teams get together, but there's a lot of talent on both sides. There's a whole storyline there with Logan Lee, who used to be a Vancouver Legion player. There's a whole bunch of things to follow in that one. That's where I'm looking for next week's game. However, the Monday Night Spectacular heads to the Steel City. It is Charleston traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Riverhogs. That is where we will be in Pittsburgh next week, Tyler and I, as long as everything goes according to plan. That said, we are done in Baltimore at SGO for the evening. Final score 38-20. Baltimore takes the game over the Indianapolis Ramblers. We will see you next week here on the Monday Night Spectacular in the Steel City. Until then, I'm Chris Curtis for Tyler Falk, Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty, and all the stats guys. Have a good week, and we will see you on Friday for more action.